This is Bill Pfizer, and welcome to our next video series. We're going to be covering in this series the topic of pornography. It's a topic that a lot of people don't particularly feel comfortable talking about, but unfortunately it's an area that, as I go down through just in this and introduce some statistics, will show you that it is a problem that needs to be talked about. It's a problem that is often kept in the dark because it's something that can be done in private. But again, as we look over some of these statistics, you're going to see just how prevalent and how much of an impact that it is having on society and on the church. So really, let's just take a look at some of these numbers, because it is pretty startling and pretty amazing, and explains a lot why I've even been seeing an increase of at least men coming in wanting to deal with this issue of pornography. When we look at these statistics, they're going to be quite telling. When we look at and we consider 47% of families in the United States have reported that pornography is an issue in their home. Okay. And where pornography is involved, we actually see an increased marital infidelity rate of 300%. And 56% of divorces have reported at least involvement of one party in the area of pornography, and obsessive in those visits to pornographic websites. For children, okay, mind you, for children, 11 is the average age that a child is first exposed to pornography, and 94% of children will see porn by the age of 14. That's society as a whole. And then when we even break it down into Christians, or at least people that are self-identified as Christians, that 64% of men and 15% of women, again, self-identified Christians in this survey, view pornography at least once a month. Okay. And 7% of both men and women have said that they view it at least 3 times a week. Of those that believe that the use of pornography is excessive, 39% of Christian men, self-identified Christian men, and 13% of self-identified Christian women believe that their pornography or their viewing of pornography is excessive. And of those self-identified Christians that think that they might be addicted to pornography, or they just aren't sure if they are, 21% of men identify with that, and 2% of women. Now, when we look at this, okay, when we look at these statistics, I just want you to see that 93% of the pastors see porn as an increasing problem in the church. Okay. 93% see or identifying with these statistics. Okay. 57% of pastors say porn is the most damaging issue that their congregation is dealing with. And 69% say that porn has adversely impacted their church. So with those numbers, 93% of pastors say that there's an increasing porn problem. 57% of pastors say porn addiction is the most damaging issue in their congregation, and 69% say porn adversely has impacted their church. Okay. Only 7% of those pastors have a plan to deal with it. Why? Let's get this out of the darkness into the light, because darkness is where shame and guilt reside. That's where their strength comes. And so what I want to do is I want to bring this topic into the light, okay? Because I have people in here, coming in here all the time saying how powerless they feel, how they've been struggling, how the guilt, the shame, the condemnation is just beating them down, okay? And that it is affecting their relationships, whether they're married or not. It has a severe impact on them, and they're wanting to know why the powerlessness, why the struggle, why can't I beat this? And so to start things off, I just want to kind of give an illustration here with something that may seem totally unrelated, but I want to bring this out to kind of shed a little bit of light on the direction that we're kind of heading in this video series, and how we deal with people here crossing Jordan that are battling this issue of pornography, the struggle with pornography. The best way that I can start this off is just to say that this past summer, we had, with all that rain, we had a major leak problem, and it was so bad, and it had gone on for so long because I kind of felt helpless and wasn't sure what all I was going to do, and I was trying to tackle some things here and there, but the room had to be gutted. Things got so bad that the room had to be gutted. I had to tear everything out, had to tear a bathroom out, and pull everything down because everything had gotten ruined, and there was even some issues with some mold growing in behind, and it was a mess, to say the least. And then I had to figure out what was going on with the leaking, where it was leaking, because I had it leaking in multiple areas. I was able to identify an area, and I thought I fixed it. And it rained and it held. Then we had a super downpour, and all of a sudden it was leaking there again when I thought I had it fixed. I wasn't seeing daylight. I'm like, what's going on, Lord? Help me understand, because I'd spent all this time in this corner getting this fixed, and now it's leaking again. I did things to the balcony, outside. Where's it leaking? Why is it leaking? Help. So then, another storm later, when I'd finally been able to work through some things, I finally figured out that my problem wasn't the leak over here. My problem was the leak over here, and what it was is the leak was so bad over here that it was running down the beam and then leaking in several other areas. I needed to take care of this leak before I knew that I had this leak solved. And that's the problem with pornography. Pornography is a symptom. It's no different than going to the doctors complaining about headaches, and the problem isn't up here, the problem is in the back, the problem is in the neck, and that's pinching things and causing the headache. It is the same thing with pornography. Okay? There are other issues that are at play here, and once we deal with those other issues and we focus on those other issues, then we can take care of the pornography. The pornography isn't the main problem, but we spend all of our time going after the pornography. And that's where everyone gets frustrated, because I'm going after this. Why can't I defeat it? Because that's a symptom and there's something else going on, and we need to take care of that. You see, we're dealing with a cycle here. James even tells us in chapter 1, verses 14 and 15, it says, but each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. Then, when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, brings forth death. And so, we're dealing with a heart issue. In pornography, we're dealing with a heart issue. We're dealing with beliefs and lies that the heart is believing, that it's allowing for that pornography and that sin to be born, to trying to fulfill, to try to mask over, to try and take care of other beliefs going on in the heart. And that's where we need to go. And what we're really dealing with is a cycle here. And that's what I'll be talking about in our next video or videos, is that cycle and what we need to do and what we've seen work here in dealing with that issue of pornography. Pornography is an issue. Okay? When we get involved in that, we are definitely opening up doors. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm minimizing that in any way. Okay? Some doors have been opened and some issues have to be dealt with. So don't make any mistake about that. But there's other issues, other heart issues that need to be taken care of here first. And when we get those, then some of these fall away and others we can take care of. And we can tell those influences, we can break those addictive habits. We can pray for the brain, and we can get healing, and we can get freedom in that area. So stay tuned, and like I said, hopefully we'll be getting these other videos out about pornography. And we're also looking at starting a support group here at Crossing Jordan. And as we get further along, I'll be giving more details about that. But that's going to be one of the key steps, is having that support, getting the issue into the light where guilt and shame can lose its hold or will lose its hold. So God bless, and hope you find this encouraging, and hope to be able to answer questions in the upcoming videos. God bless. Bye.